Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to rank all the takeovers in NBA 2K22 Next Gen in tiers F through S for Season 6. Now, I want to explain what's at the bottom right here. The text color is going to indicate what I had the ranking of for Season 4. Now, I didn't do a list for Season 5 at all. Felt like there was a little bit of stagnant movement. There wasn't a whole lot of difference in where I ranked things. And now I want to update you guys because I do have a couple difference in opinions. And I hope you enjoy. So if you do, feel free to drop a like. So if you're new, turn on noties. All good stuff. And like always, tries 1 to 500 likes. We're going to get straight into this though. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, new to the series, essentially I had advanced gathers, post playmaking, and easy blowbys in the F tiers. If I move them into a different tier, that now means that the text color just meant what it was for 4, and wherever it is now is where I actually rank it now. And speaking of which, we have 3 of the F tier takeovers staying put, and then power backdowns moving down from E to F. So what I have right here, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the useless bad takeovers. F tier means I would never run them. Simple as that. Power backdowns, not worth it. There's really a badge for it, and if you have high strength on your build, it won't really even matter. Not to mention, I don't know what settings people even do power backdowns with anymore at all. You can really just triple threat your way down to the paint. You could catch the ball in the post and go from there. Honestly, you could still do backdowns without this takeover easily. I mean, literally, it's as simple as that. And then with post playmaking, same thing. I just think it's a pretty useless takeover, deals with being in the post. It obviously helps you like have your teammates make shots more consistently when you have the ball in the post. But again, very rarely do people even enter the post like that. And it's so specific and it's so not needed, honestly, just in general. Maybe for 2v2. I sort of understand for 2v2, but that's about it. Advanced gathers and easy blowbys, garbage, horrible slasher takeovers, literally as simple as that. Advanced gathers, nobody really needs to do anything related to this. And then for easy blowbys, maybe for the 1v1 court, possibly understand that if you're someone who can shoot the ball and people have to play high on you and respect your shot, and maybe you want easy 2-point takes. But either way, horrible takeovers. I would never run them. You probably won't even nearly notice a difference when you have them on versus when you do. That's how I see these, and I think they're just useless bad takeovers. Alright, next up we have our 1 E tier badge. It's going to be glass clearing dimes, moving it down from the D to the E. I just think in general you're going to see a jump in one of these glass takeovers that I really do like 100%. And I really don't think you should run anything else when it comes to glass takeovers or playing as a big man. Maybe for rec center, I understand this if you're maybe trying to be a stat patter where you're getting rebounds and trying to help your teammates on outlet passes or something like that. Or obviously, if you're someone who doesn't like to go up with the ball and mash very often, maybe you're someone who likes to kick out teammates very often, it's possible. But either way, I really don't think this takeover is that good. That's how I just see it. Next up, we have advanced post moves dropping down from the C tier to the D tier. This is our only D tier takeover. Personally, this is how I see post game nowadays. I think it's more of a work in unison with another big man type thing where you could do hooks, fades, all types of stuff like that and still work in unison with your other center who could be crashing the rebound. I'm speaking from the perspective of Pro-Am, obviously, when I say stuff like this. For 2v2 though, it's still pretty valid. If you come in there and you want to be a post scorer on 2v2 though, like the 1 or the 2, I guess at the end of the day, maybe advanced post moves is cool for, let's say, drop steps and stuff like that. But either way, still a pretty bad takeover. I wouldn't recommend running this at all, really. But again, it's still maybe reasonable. D tier is like, okay, I guess, sort of territory. Alright, so C tier is where we start to get into reasonable range, where you have things like finishing moves, enhanced jump shot contests, stuff blocks, interior badge drop, post shot daggers, probably the worst one in this tier, but it's still a lot more reasonable than advanced post moves for that same reason that we just talked about. I think hooks and fades, it makes a whole lot more sense to work in unison with other bigs, and you can kind of work out the corner in that sense, especially for maybe people who only have mid-range. You didn't invest in the close shot on your corner spot ups, and maybe you could be someone who does a little bit of fading when you get the ball in your hands, rather than to go off the dribble and try and always rim run your way into the paint off the corner or something like that. So anyway, like I said, that's how I see post shot daggers. As far as stuff blocks goes, this is dropping from B to C, I think for a good reason too. Honestly, I'm starting to see there's not a whole lot of value in stuff blocks when you run this. It's not like you get crazy, like insane amount of more chase downs, better chase down animations. Really all this feels like it does is, I mean, just in general, rim takeover is going to give you more block rating and more physical attributes in some areas. Not many, but either way, it's still going to give you more block attributes and stuff like that into your defense by default. But I think there are better rim takeovers, 100%. Ironically, there's another one right here that is interior badge drop. That's not that much better, so it's pretty obvious the only one I'm talking about is paint intimidation. We'll talk about that later in the video. But anyway, as far as stuff blocks and interior badge drop goes, I just think these are just mediocre takeovers. They're not that good. Interior badge drop is kind of interesting at the fact that it drops the opponent's brick wall, though. So if you want to nerf the screens a little bit for your lockdowns, I guess this is reasonable. And at the same time, it will still help you with mash dash defense. Obviously, it's going to be dropping people's, let's say, grace under pressure, fast twitch, etc., post riser, stuff like that. And obviously, that still plays a pretty big factor. So I do think interior badge drop is better than stuff blocks. At this point, I think stuff blocks is the worst rim takeover in the game for the sole reason of you don't really need more block boost. To be honest with you, I think blocks are in a really good spot in this game. You don't need more help getting chase down blocks. You don't need more help getting like jump blocks below the hoop. What you do need help with is contesting the shots down low when people are paint mashing, and that's why I see things like paint intimidation and interior badge drop playing a bigger factor than, say, stuff blocks now. So that's how I feel about those two rim takeovers right there. For finishing moves, I just think this isn't as good as I once thought it was, and just in general, I feel like this is my true opinion if you want to really know how I feel. I think paint mashing is way too good. We'll maybe talk about this in a video very soon as well, but me as someone who has used and still does use builds that have 99 driving dunk and Hall of Fame posterizer and run slash or takeover like finishing moves, because it's really the only one that's even reasonable to run, it's just ridiculous how much more skill it requires you to do to actually perform contact dunks, driving contact dunks, than it does to just sit below the paint and just paint mash with like, my build has 99 driving dunk with 75 close shot. I mean, it's ridiculous that I think the 75 close shot one is easier and requires less skill or less focus, and it's just easier to do. Simple as that. So long story short, how I feel about finishing moves, I don't know, bro. I just feel like slashing is just kind of overrated at this point. Contact dunk slashing, that is. As far as like just dunking wide open, I mean, obviously, 75 driving dunk and 65 driving dunk go a long way. I mean, just being able to do quick drops and do it quickly is probably the best thing you could do. And you're kind of selling yourself out if you're using the down on the right stick for the dunk meter. I think the dunk meter is a good addition. It's just paint mashing and offense everywhere else is way too overpowered and easy to be doing something like the contact dunk meters, which requires such precision and such flexibility. It's so much different to time a jump shot that's the same exact repetitive thing over and over again. It's all about reaction time when it comes to doing the dunk meter, and honestly, it could just be a completely different dunk animation every single time, unless you're the dude who has drops off one, and that's the only animation you have. You don't even have contact dunks, so you're able to just time the dunk meter the exact same way every single time, and it's such easy repetition. If you have a lot of dunks and like dunk animations on or contact dunks, not to mention the contact dunk meter is delayed, whereas like regular dunk meter is not delayed, so it's just a stupid like thing that requires a whole lot of just adaptation and stuff like that, and again, just being flexible and doing stuff on the fly and reaction time, stuff like that. And the reason I'm talking about finishing moves in that aspect is because really that's all it's good for, helping you get more contact dunks, and I feel like that's literally it. Maybe contact alley-oops too, it's kind of a cool little addition to it, but either way, not a comp takeover at all, and for having fun, it's like okay, I guess. Enhanced jump shot contest, this is going to be probably the worst lockdown takeover of them all. It's still not horrible though. I think it's something that's pretty respectable and it's like decent, but overall, I mean, the other two that we're going to be talking about with perimeter badge drop and extreme clamps are just so much better than this one right here. I wish enhanced jump shot contest worked better. That's the thing. It's not functional. It's not that great of a takeover. It's such a great concept though. Everybody needs it. We need it as lockdowns. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like if you could get more contests on people, it'd be beautiful, but it just doesn't work the greatest. It's still good because of necessity, and it's still an okay takeover as far as performance wise, but it's definitely not up there with the B tier and the A tier and the S tier. So right and C is probably just directly where it belongs. All right, so we have all the B tier takeovers right here, but I did miss one actually. I meant to put team rating boost in the C tier with these right here, so let me just backtrack a little bit and talk about this. So team rating boost, I honestly, you will see the reasoning behind why this is lower. It's not in the B tier anymore and going down to the C as we reveal more of the other playmaker takeovers as well. But to just keep a long story short, honestly, team takeover boost is 15 times better than this right here with team rating boost. It's the same aspect too. I don't think team rating boost is something you want to run as an actual point guard. I think team badge boost is way better because you're actually helping your teammates, whereas like this one right here I think is more of a role player type thing where you want to maybe help your point guard or something like that, or your center, or just whoever with boosting their ratings, helping them make shots, helping them dribble better, etc., etc. And again, for the role player aspect, I think team takeover booster is way better to run than team ratings boost. So that's literally just my simple explanation on it right there. It's literally as simple as that. There's just a better takeover option that does exactly what you would want it to do. That's how I feel. Honestly, it's up to you though. Team rating boost is still an okay takeover, especially like I said, if you want to run it as a role player, it's perfectly fine. Moving along. See the future. We got it moving down from the A tier to the B tier. We also have ankle breaking shots moving down from the A to the B. We have negative impact, perimeter badge drop, and paint intimidation staying put in the B tier. So Most of these are going to be either shot creator takeovers, or we have a different spread of glass, rim, and lock. Simple as that. So let's just start from top to bottom in no order. It's not like I think being at the top means they're the best. It's just literally, I'm just going from top to bottom. So see the future. I think this is actually still a pretty solid takeover. It's probably the top of the B tier, ironically, even though I just said it isn't. But either way, it's probably the best B tier takeover in the game. It's just honestly, box out wall, so much better. After I've tried box out wall with a build that has like decent strength, it doesn't even have to be super high. I still have a minimum weight, or not minimum weight, but as low as you can go to still get 99 rebound, 7'3" center. And I'm just absolutely like dogging people when it comes to me having that takeover on and having Hall of Fame worm as well paired with this. And it's really good for worms and box outs. Simple as that. Helps with rebound just in general. And again, the worm ability is so crazy. It's so much better. And see the future is nice, but I think it's more of like a very undersized players type of takeover where maybe you're like a 6'9" that's playing stage or something like that, and you want to see where the ball is going to bounce, and you have the ability with Hall of Fame hustler and just a lot of speed to track balls down like that. But for taller bigs, and just in general, the majority of the people who even run glass takeover for that matter, or can even get it, will probably prefer to run box out wall over see the future. That's how I see it. Moving along, we have perimeter badge drop. This is also pretty solid as a lockdown takeover. Like I said, I mean, extreme clamps is probably better, but perimeter badge drop has a case to be made for it where it's going to help you lower their, let's say, tight handles and make it harder for them to just get some BS opening and stuff like that. Or for instance, maybe handles for days. It makes it so they'll get tired a little bit quicker with the ball in their hands. Same with quick chain. Maybe screws up their rhythm on the dribbling a little bit, and they're not used to that cadence of dribbling with a lower level of quick chain. Literally as simple as that. I mean, the list goes on and on. Obviously unpluckable too makes them more susceptible to like pluck stealing the ball. I mean, the list goes on and on with that. It's really good. I think perimeter badge drop is also one of the best B tier takeovers, so ironically I'm going against everything that I said right here and it's literally probably sorted from top to bottom on which one's the best, which one's not. But anyway, again, perimeter badge drop to see the future. They're like fringe A tier takeovers. I think they're right there between B and A. But moving along, we have the two shot creating takeovers. So we have negative impact and ankle breaking shots. With negative impact, again, I think it just already is tough to contest people when it comes to fading in general because they're already on the side of you. You paired negative impact with blinders as well, and it's just going to get super toxic. It's going to be really hard to contest people when they're fading. Simple as that. So if you're someone who likes to live and die by the fades and you simply just want to do like fade away three-pointers, negative impact is really tough to deal with. I'll just tell you guys that much. But overall, that's really all it's good for. I mean, clearly it's not going to help you make open shots. It just literally negates contests. Simple as that. And then to chain off that with the shot creating takeovers, I think ankle breaking shots is just kind of a fun one to use, and it definitely is annoying to guard, but it's not like a super elite level of takeover if you ask me. I think it's like probably bottom of the B tier, right where it is shown. So again, I'm just going against everything that I said with how these aren't ranked from top to bottom, but this B tier definitely indicates that, honestly. But anyway, again, ankle breaking shots, it's literally as simple as this. If you do hop back jumpers, you're going to break people sometimes. You're going to make them fall. It's like literally as simple as that. It still works in some successions of like different dribble chains and stuff like that with like snatchbacks, etc. But honestly, I just think this takeover is not that great. You're kind of just dealing with RNG stuff where you're hoping for it to just drop somebody every now and then, which again is cool and fun sometimes, but it's not extremely reliable. It's still going to help you make fades because it's just shot creator takeover. It's going to boost like your ability to do so, but it's definitely nowhere near the level of actual competitive level that negative impact or pull-up precision will provide you. Then moving along, we have paint intimidation. Like we already talked about, I think this is just significantly better than stuff blocks and interior badge drop. I think this is actually a really good takeover that some people are sleeping on, and I might start using a little bit myself. Because another thing too, let's say I'm gonna use a Pro-Am instance for you guys. So let's say that my takeover goes crazy. I'm the center or something like that. And we run two centers. So we have me and Tonic. So let's say that I, as a 7'3" center, am running double glass take and I get team takeover. So now let's say Tonic is getting his double takeover active because of team takeover, right? So now he could be running like glass and rim as his secondary or something like that. And now he's going to have paint intimidation for being a much more reliable dropper. I feel like people are not going to be able to just make contested like paint mashes against you. You could really reliably play hands up defense. And even at that, when you do jump, you're going to contest the hell out of it. So again, I think this takeover could be pretty viable. I think it's something that people should consider running every now and then. And just in general, I mean, even if you don't get a block on a chase down block, it's still paint intimidation. It's still rim protector takeover. People might even miss just open because you have the intimidation factor, and it pairs with Intimidator. It pairs with, obviously, like I said, just the ability to block shots in general, and I think this is a really good takeover that people are sleeping on. I might even test this out a little bit more myself, and I'll maybe even have it in the A tier in future takeover tier list. But anyway, moving along to said A tier. Alright, so I want to let you guys know, the top 4 are the ones that I'm for sure going to be saying are in A tier. So we have Team Badge Boost, Pull Up Precision, Spot Up Precision, and Extreme Clamps. Box Out Wall, I'm not going to lie, if I'm biased, I would put it in the S tier. But unbiased point of view, I'm going to say Box Out Wall probably belongs in the A tier, but it's definitely toward the top. I will let you guys know that 100%. Box Out Wall deserves to be almost S tier, in my opinion. And I'm just going to move the other 2 over because obviously what's left over is going to be in the S tier. But anyway, we're going to talk about only the A tier real quick. It's going to be Team Badge Boost, Pull Up Precision, Spot Up Precision, Extreme Clamps, and Box Out Wall. So for Team Badge Boost, this is a nice little takeover for a point guard to run. If you have it on, let's say your corner spot up has like gold sniper, he has like silver corner specialist, silver catch and shoot. All of that stuff is going to be boosted by 1 tier. So it's going to go from like silver to gold to Hall of Fame, etc., etc. I think it's really good to have, and it definitely is helpful in the sense of helping your teammates make shots, or even for that matter, it helps for catching lobs. It helps for paint mashing if you do it quick enough as well. I mean, just in general, it's like boosted dimer, and you still have playmaker takeover as well. So it will let people hit very contested shots on your team. Don't get me wrong. I think in a point guard sense, it's debatably better than Team Takeover Boost, but we'll talk about that in a second because it can get crazy, bro. No matter what position you're at. Lockdown, point guard, center, all types of stuff like that. But anyway, so next up we have the 2 precision takeovers. We have Pull Up Precision and Spot Up Precision. Pull Up obviously helping you with fadeaways. It's not going to help you like drop contest or anything like that, like Negative Impact would, but obviously it helps you make more contested. That's just another thing. And obviously you can make more open as well. So it's literally just as simple as this. It helps you make fadeaway threes. Same with Spot Up Precision. Just helps you make spot up 3-pointers, or standstill 3-pointers, I should say. It still works from a point guard's perspective. It's just obviously it's not the same aspect of limitless range, because limitless range will still help you make 3-pointers point blank. Now, debatably, some people would argue that Spot Up Precision should be on the same tier as limitless range, because honestly a point guard can still run this, and it may even help you make more contested shots. But I feel like what limitless range provides from a point guard's perspective of just having so much more range to shoot the ball from, and the defense has to respect you from even further away, fast breaks as well, or even just as a spot up, like as a shooting guard or something like that, running wraps, running around off ball, shooting the ball from super deep, or to just spot up. Really, even for that matter, limitless range still provides a lot of power that the defense has to respect, and it really screws up some of the defensive rotations, screws up some of the just attention they have to play to you as well. So that's my POV on Spot Up Precision versus limitless range. So that's pretty much both of them we've already talked about. Extreme Clamps, really good lockdown takeover, but it's not like something that's just gonna get you automatic stops. You have to use this in the right way, and in my opinion, some people don't do that. But either way, Extreme Clamps is still probably the best lockdown takeover. It's debatable though, man. I'm not gonna lie. Perimeter Badge Drop definitely is right in that range, and Extreme Clamps is probably the bottom of the A tier. So Extreme Clamps being bottom of the A tier and Perimeter Badge Drop being the top of the B tier, they're very close. They're a lot closer than they would seem, in my opinion. And again, really all this provides you is just to be able to cut people off better. On 1v1 court, it's a must-have, because if people pick the ball up, that means like absolute problems for them. They just can't make the shot, and then you get the ball back and you get a full stop. But with Extreme Clamps on like Pro-Am and stuff like that, even if they get a forced pickup or anything like that, it's not like it's the end of the world. They could still pass it to the center. And for that matter too, it's not like the pickups happen that often. It just helps you body people off. It helps you just like cut them off and not let them dribble anywhere. So like I said, I think Extreme Clamps, very bottom of the A tier. And then speaking of like the top or bottom of the A tier, Box Out Wall, like I said, very tippy top of the A tier. It just belongs at the absolute pinnacle of this. And like I said, definitely could be debatable to have in the S tier. It's so good at getting worms and box outs and stuff like that as well. Just in general, the best takeover you can run as a center. That's how I feel. Moving along to the S tier, we have Team Takeover Boost and Limitless Range. So let's talk about Team Takeover Booster. Bro, this goes insane. I just want to give you guys a little bit of like reference to this. So there was a time where I was running the 6'10" center, and I was coming out here on Pro-Am, and I had the Team Takeover Booster as my takeover. And what was so crazy about this is I was able to run that, and my point guards would benefit off it as well. So you don't have to pass to anybody for this to work. It can be anybody on the court. If you have this activated, you're like, let's say I was a 6'10" center, right? But I had a 7'3" playing with me with Tonic. If he gets rebounds, he's getting even more takeover for those rebounds than he was before. Shot blocks, it helps the whole team because Tonic's rim protector is helping the team with takeover. And the the team takeover booster amplifies that. It helps tonic even more because blocks are just worth a lot, and then boom, it's worth even more. It's worth a lot for the point guards getting assists to me even still, or it's worth a whole lot for them to get their fadeaway mid-ranges, their spot up three-pointers, stuff like that. It goes insane, and you having the team takeover booster and being unselfish really will let your center maybe get team takeover, like the actual team takeover. I know sometimes that's hard to distinguish team takeover booster and then actual like the concept of team takeover, but like let's just say obviously you as like a lockdown or power forward could be running this and you activate your team takeover booster. It lets your center get the actual team takeover concept so that your whole team now has takeover, or it'll help your point guard get his takeover, in which case maybe he could be running team takeover booster. And now boom, he's got play take, he's looking to dot people up, he's like dotting up your lockdowns, they're able to get their lockdown takeovers, you're getting your shooting guard takeover, now he's going crazy. Overall, team takeover booster, it literally just amplifies your whole team like crazy, and it's insane to run on fives. I don't know why more people don't do it. It's crazy talk if you ask me. It could break the game, and I think it has. It's just some people don't really utilize it at all. But anyway, limitless range, speaking of game breaking, it just extends, like I said, the range of the pick and roll and just how far you have to guard PGs and ISO, and because you have to guard them out super tight and super far, it really opens up crabs on ISOs like crazy, so people can just get crab three-pointers or easy walking mid-ranges, easy as that. So again, range opens up a whole lot of other avenues for you as a point guard, and that's really as simple as that. That's the power of it, and people have to respect you super high. So anyway, that is all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to 1 to 500 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put takeover in the comments, or put season 6 in the comments, or just 6 in the comments. If you want to, feel free to show your support that you made it all the way through to the end of the video. Pretty long one. I know we like to go into detail a little bit right here, but it is what it is. Anyway, feel free to leave any feedback in the comments as well. If you have any like just debate or debacle with, you know, what I have on this list right here. But anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to 1 to 500 likes. Hope you enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.